so that the folks that he sees at the end of the line are not.
Hey, good morning, folks. Thanks so much for joining me. We are going to jump into a press conference that Mayor Greenberg is having along with some other city leaders about some changes that's going to be happening to Alcoholic Beverage Control, the permitting process. A lot of this is in light to what's been happening in the Highlands. We're a little late, so I don't know what they said in the beginning of this, but let's jump in.
We've been pretty successful at addressing hotspots, letting us know where we need to be focused. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Councilman Rena Weber. And we also want to introduce next a member of this community, someone who has owned multiple businesses along Bardstown Road, someone who has been a great voice of improving Bardstown Road and working collaboratively with the city, with the private sector, whether it's improving our road, improving the tree canopy, improving the parks, or improving the business conditions here, improving the life for residents, is a great colleague, someone who is working hard every day to improve this entire area. Local business owner, Ben Botkins. And resident, sorry.
Yeah, I'm the shorter Ben here, which is rare. Yeah, you know, we're, for better or worse, we are a very active and vocal community, and we can be critical when things aren't working, and it's important that we're equally as vocal and energized when they are. And so when the mayor, councilman, head of ABC, Major, and executive director Wright, when you make a commitment a couple months ago to increase the presence and solve these acute issues, you did that. And the neighborhood talks, and the leaders talk, and we meet, and we are happy to talk about how things have been less violent, and we're hearing a less chaotic corridor. So I want to acknowledge and say thanks to that. You know, a wise Louisvillian said public safety is what makes everything possible, and that's absolutely, those few words are exactly what we've needed to hear for a long time, and we can build off of that. And the cornerstone of that is clearly the 5th Division, and I want to do a better job of making sure that you feel appreciated and wanted and needed in this community. If public safety is the foundation, the police is the cornerstone to help make that happen. So your presence and enforcement is critical and a part of making this all work. So I'm also want to say that I'm very grateful for the ambassador program. I don't know that the streets have ever been cleaner. That uniform presence is something that we all talk about and makes the corridor feel more professional, put together, and that's a big win, and I hope that's something we can continue to have in years to come. And it's my understanding that the ABC is fully staffed for the first time in quite a long time. So I think that's something, when we talk about these issues, and again, we want to be critical, we need to celebrate when things are coming together. So I want to acknowledge that. And your leadership has echoed throughout the community, and people believe in what you are doing and that you have the backs of the residents. I want to speak just a little bit to the residential community, because that's really where my passion is. 33,000, that's the amount of people who live here. By population, that would be tied, and I think a 3-way tie for the 7th largest city in the state. So for every one commercial property, there's hundreds of residences. This road for the last 10 years or so has been more of a chaotic liability for us than it's been a valuable asset. And for decades, it was a valuable asset. We are organized, we are motivated, we are ready to support. We will plant 400 more trees. We will do more public art. We will increase safety of crosswalks for Bloom Elementary and everyone else. We will fund, we will organize, we will streamline our voices for that. But we have to have and continue to have a robust public safety thing to build off of. And I trust that we'll continue to have that. It's critical, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that you all feel supported. I'm just one person here, as Ben said. There are a dozen organizations, hundreds of stakeholders, hundreds of leaders. I'm here today, but I'm sharing the sentiment of many. I said I had 2 to 3 minutes. I'm getting close here, but you know, I have at least one meeting a day with a stakeholder, and it could be anyone from a senior resident, which by and large most of my neighbors are, or young families, or it could be a regional developer. And everyone's ready to help and invest further in this corridor. We just want to continue to see and build off of what the couple months have been. So my promise, my commitment remains that it has been for a quarter of my life, which is I will do everything I will pull money together. We will make it all happen. Let's follow through. Let's keep building on what we've been working on the last couple of months, and you'll have all the advocacy and support to help give you a tailwind for that. So I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much to both Bens. Really appreciate that. And, this starts, as Ben just mentioned, from the community. This is to improve the quality of the neighborhood here, for the residents who live here, from the residents from around the city and region and country that enjoy Bardstown Road. And so we really appreciate Ben and all the other community members who have spoken up, who are willing to collaborate with us here. That's what it's all about. It's all about this collaboration to move Louisville forward in for an exciting new future, and that's what we're doing every day. So thanks again to you, to your colleagues here. Thanks to folks who continue to reach out when we have challenges in other parts of the community, as I started my comments with this morning. And we are excited about the future of Bardstown Road. We're excited about the future of the Highlands and the future of all of our neighborhoods across the city. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions from members of the media about this or any other topic. Yes?
Hi, this is off topic.
Okay.
On manager case, but do you have any concerns about the judge's previous decision to grant him shock probation, meaning that his 14-year sentence wasn't 6 months?
So the question was about the incident that I mentioned early on, where an individual earlier, or at the end of last week, at knife point and machete point, kidnapped a mother and 2 daughters, took her to a bank, and then robbed a bank, took money, and fled. And again, I want to start by thanking the officers that respond quickly and were able to apprehend this individual shortly thereafter by the end of the day. That was great work from a community providing information and our law enforcement responding to that. This individual was released from jail after about 4 months into a 14-year sentence for another violent crime. That's troubling. That's concerning. And so that is something that, yes, that we are going to continue to look at. We're going to continue to work with members of the judicial branch and the judges on how we can bring transparency to some of that. Are there local or state rules that need to change? When individuals commit violent crimes in this community, there need to be consequences. And in this case, clearly the consequence was not enough, and we saw what happened. So that was a disappointment, but we will figure out how we build on this to prevent something like this from happening again. What else? Michael?
You had mentioned that, Ben mentioned that now ABC is fully staffed. How many people is that? How many?
Can you talk about that, George? You want to repeat the question first?
Hello, sir. Your question was about the staffing level at ABC. Under our current budget, we're at 12 enforcement investigators. And we have 6 in the licensing staff, not counting the, my position as the director, and I have a deputy director as well.
And so how many cases is each of the inspectors typically dealing with?
It varies based, no, so the question again, I'm sorry, I got to get used to repeating the question. So the question is, how many cases on average do they have? And it varies because they're all assigned by police division. For example, somebody that has a lesser division, we have one of my investigators or detectives is assigned to Homeland Security as a task force officer, so they have some other duties in addition to their ABC duties. So one of the things about ABC, and I think I've talked to a couple people this morning, is I think until we made the arrest on the copper theft situation, I don't think some people understood that we were a functioning police department. We just have a different role in how we handle things. We're specialized. We handle a lot of, I'd say up to 20 different license types. And my detectives are, they're very focused, and we can dedicate a lot of resources to one problem and get it solved pretty quick.
Brad, how much weight will your office put on this survey when deciding future license renewals?
So the question is about how much weight on the survey, and this is the first time that we've taken the initiative to reach out and ask before somebody renews their license, give us the feedback, because if you kind of look back, and I'm not going to mention specific locations or the situations that have happened because I want to stay kind of clear of that, but it's heavy weighted because like one of the Bens said a little bit ago is I give a lot of weight to what the citizens around there think, because honestly, they have the the right to be secure in their homes. Now, I don't want to say that I don't believe that businesses I want them to be so successful, they make the most money possible, but not at the expense of the safety of our people. And so I'm going to give it every weight, but sometimes under the law and the scheme as it's written, just because somebody doesn't like it doesn't mean it rises to the level that I have the ability to deny the license, if that makes sense. So I'm going to call them, I'm going to do everything I can to communicate and find out what can be changed, because a lot of times David James and the mayor and Ron Hetty and all of the executive directors that I've been working with, Misty has been phenomenal at running our safety program and keeping things together. We're picking up the phone and calling people and talking to them about the problems. Like I said, I'm not going to try to mention the specific locations that we're having some problems with, but I'd say 1% or less have been the focus. Most of them do great. They don't have any problems. We don't hear about them, and that's what I hope it stays at. But when we do have a problem, I'm going to call them and talk to them about the problem. We're going to send enforcement investigators to go talk to them. We've been in lockstep with LMPD. I've never seen it like this with us, where we're working, Major Brown and I, we talk weekly, his Lieutenant Silverblatt, we talk, I'm serious, at 9 o'clock at night to 8 o'clock in the morning. We're talking about problems in the community. So if I can tell you, I know there's a long-winded answer to your question, but we are going to take it as serious as we can, and it, again, doesn't mean that we're going to be able to deny renewal on a license, but it's going to start the conversation.
I just want to add one thing to that real quick.
Yes, sir.
And just add one thing to what Director Silvera said. I mean, we want this to be a thriving neighborhood. We want there to be great restaurants. We want there to be great retail outlets, and we want it to be a great neighborhood as well. And so that requires balance, and that's the key here, is to have a balanced neighborhood that has all of those attributes to get to where we were in the past, as Ben said, about a thriving mixed-use neighborhood that many other neighborhoods aspire to be. One more question, Member Richard.
Yeah, one of the questions on the survey is about the hours of businesses, bars, establishments. Where do you stand on that right now? Are you still looking to...
The question was about where do we stand on the hours of operation of the bars. I mean, that's something that right now I think we've been effective at improving the situation without making changes to when bars close. But that's something that will, I think, remain on the table, that there are a lot of conversations between Councilman Reno Weber and his colleagues, not just in this neighborhood, but that in many neighborhoods. And so I think the community will see that as a conversation happening over the months to come. We want to hear what the community thinks about that as well. Roberto.
Can you speak about some of the other things outside of just resident complaints that you're going to have to take into account when it comes to looking at a license renewal? Obviously, some have been overturned. The state has said you all have been power in the past and denying a liquor license. So what are some of the other things besides just people having to keep their license?
Yeah, so the question was about, other than neighborhood complaints when looking to deny a license. Again, we are not looking to deny licenses. We want to approve licenses. We want this to be a thriving neighborhood for restaurants, bars. We want them to make money. We want their patrons to have the best time of their lives on Bardstown Road in our city. We do hospitality wonderfully in our community. We just want it to be safe and want it to be by the rules. So there are going to be issues related to noise and what the impact on noise, not within the restaurant or bar, but outside, what that does to the surrounding neighborhoods. Does that violate noise ordinances? Are there impacts to our transportation or traffic issues? Are there repetitive and specific public safety issues that continue to happen as a result of action at a particular establishment? All of those are going to be issues that Director Silvera and his team consider as they're reviewing that. It's, again, this is not a social media comment section. This is very specific feedback that we are looking for that goes to the question of public safety.
Have you heard from business owners about whether this increased police presence is either positively or negatively affecting the business?
Yeah, please.
The question is, have we heard from business owners about whether the increased presence of public safety officials has impacted them or how they feel about it? Yes, we've heard from a lot of business owners. And the overwhelming message is, please, we love having a presence here. We love having somebody to call, and also recognizing that that isn't always because they want a police response. They want a police response when it's appropriate to have a police response. But, one of the big issues that we've had is the increase in people experiencing street homelessness. And we want somebody to be able to respond to that appropriately with mental health engagement, with increased beds for not just shelters, but also supportive housing. And people's willingness to feel comfortable making that call is also about understanding that the right response is going to come. So, one of the things we've talked about is recognizing that the world has shifted and that business owners all along this corridor welcome that uniformed presence. We had a couple of, actually you might be able to speak to some of the things that you've had talking to people who you felt like were not interested in being part of the solution. Do you want to speak to that real quick, or no?
I'll speak.
Okay.
No, it's true. I mean, everyone's coming to the table. Neighborhood associations are organizing in ways that they've largely just stayed neutral. Everyone wants to be a part of solving all of these issues and sit down with folks or departments or other orgs that they haven't in the past. It's in all the years I've been doing this, I've never seen a more motivated constituent base in all levels, from folks renting apartments to long-term residents, stakeholders, developers, everybody. I will say on the data question that you're asking, I can not speak for all 33,000 people in the neighborhood, but I'm pretty sure I can paraphrase and say that we do not want a single bar open, another one being issued past midnight. We cannot have any more late night bars. We've got all that we can have for eternity, and that's the most demoralizing thing we could have is another late night license. So we are maxed out on that front.
What do you anticipate with these changes that people in the community will see? What will happen differently?
Oh, I think the question was about what do we anticipate seeing. I think thanks to the work of LMPD, ABC, all of this collaboration that you're seeing right now, the neighbors, the business owners that are all working together for the first time in years, I think what you're going to see is a drastically improved Bardstown Road. You're already seeing a cleaner Bardstown Road. That will continue to improve. Our goal is for an even more vibrant Bardstown Road, where all of the storefronts are full, where there are thriving businesses, retail outlets, restaurants that people are coming to during the day and at night, and it's all being done safely. That, I think, is our shared vision for this neighborhood and every neighborhood in Louisville.
When coming up with this survey, did you look at other cities or neighborhoods and other places who might have dealt with similar issues who they saw the results with this kind of survey?
Do you want to take that? Okay.
So in designing this survey, we looked at the statutory framework that governs the issuance of licenses at the state and local level and looked at the factors that someone can permissibly consider in order to renew or issue a new license. And we incorporated those factors into the survey. We're not aware of another jurisdiction that has done something like this. So we worked together to figure out how this is going to work. And in doing so, we communicated with a couple of months ago, business owners and community leaders to find out their opinions, and in so doing learned that we needed to get more opinions from other people. So we are seeking information about both positive and negative about businesses that sell and serve liquor in the area, tagged to those statutory factors that ABC can permissibly consider in deciding whether to issue or renew a license. And we're also trying to get information about congestion of retail and bar and nightclub type of establishments on Bardstown Road, and also opinions on late night service of alcohol.
Is this an ongoing survey, just continuous?
Yeah. The survey is going to be ongoing. However, we're encouraging people to fill it out by September 15th in order to allow our ABC director to be able to consider those opinions when considering the renewing licenses that are currently active.
I'll just say in conclusion that this is the way we are approaching challenges here at Metro government these days, is when there's an issue that pops up, we listen. We had some great meetings with members of the community, business owners and residents, none of whom were shy who gave very specific feedback on what the challenges are and what they saw as opportunities for improvement. And our team, working collaboratively with Councilman Reno Weber, his colleagues, folks throughout our administration, we figured out what we needed to do more of and what we needed to do that we had not done before to address the issue, to make improvements. And that's what you see here. You see true collaboration. You see our agencies giving more attention to an area that there was attention for, just clearly not enough. You see us doing new things like a survey, using all the tools that we have available to address a challenge and make improvements for residents of our community. We're really excited about the future of Bardstown Road. I'm really excited about what's going on all across our city. Thank you guys so much for joining us today, and have a wonderful day and week.
Hey folks, so thanks for staying with me here on this stream. As you heard, some changes coming to the permitting process for Louisville Metro Alcoholic Beverage Control. Wave News reporter Kirsten Foote is on this story for us, so she's going to have more throughout the day. So I've got another stream that I'm going to be putting up here in just a few minutes that has to do with JCPS. So I will see you again. I'm going to cancel this stream and then come back on. All right, have a great day.